Yes, you're watching I Love My Job. I'm Doug Thaker, and thank you so much for sharing your time with me tonight. I got a special guest. I got a special program. This is something really different on I Love My Job. Nick Milano is with me, and Nick is the program coordinator for Ground Level Solutions. What's this all about, Nick? What is it?
Well, Ground Level Solutions is a energy services company. So we provide energy conservation services, mainly to low-income Ohioans. We work in a 30-county area. Richland County is one of the 30
Whoa.
counties. We have 4 contracts. We have a contract with Columbia Gas of Ohio, another one with the state of Ohio to provide the program called the Home Weatherization Assistance Program services. We have a contract with American Electric Power, and then we have another contract with the state of Ohio where we run another electric efficiency program called the Energy Partnership Program. So the Columbia Gas Warm Choice Program is probably our biggest program. We operate that in the 30-county area. In Richland County, we have 2 programs that we run, the Warm Choice and the Home Weatherization Assistance Program. So, we provide the services to low-income Ohioans, as I said. It's based on poverty guidelines.
Okay.
So the Warm Choice Program, folks that are at 150% of poverty or less, we can serve. The state's Home Weatherization Assistance Program is 200% or less, and we offer both of those programs in Richland.
Okay, now specifically, let's talk about the first one,
The Columbia Gas Warm Choice Program.
Warm Choice. Okay,
Yep.
Tell me about that specifically. What you do?
Well, I am the program manager, so my responsibility is to run the day-to-day operation of the program. So I manage production supervisors who manage inspectors who actually go out in folks' homes. So I'm responsible for the billing and basic oversight.
Sounds like a big job.
It is. It's a pretty large contract. We do around 700 houses a year, so it keeps us busy.
Now, are you seeing that increase or decrease?
There has not been a great increase, really.
Okay. And is that good or bad?
Well, I mean, it's kind of bad. We're actually we've been having trouble finding customers.
Okay,
believe
that's
it or
amazing.
not. Yeah. So we're doing this show and we're doing other things to try to get the word out there in the community about what we do.
Okay.
So that we can get more customers.
Okay, somebody watching tonight, they said, I fit in that level of income and I need you. What do they do? How do they contact you?
The best thing to do is to call us. I have our 1-800 number there. I don't know if we can.
You do.
Just say that.
1-800-537-8210. That's you, right?
Yep.
You got a Mansfield office, Columbus office, and a Norwalk office.
Yes. So that 1-800 number, that's going to call into the Columbus office, and they will be routed to a customer service rep that can take an application. There's a series of questions they're going to ask, and they will make sure that they are income eligible for the job, and then an appointment will be set up to come out. Have one of the inspectors who you're going to interview later will come out to the house and actually do an inspection.
Okay. So obviously you're involved in both of these gentlemen we're going to be talking to with equipment, correct?
Yes, yes. We have a lot of diagnostic equipment, so we do a lot of testing on the homes. Because we need to test the furnace and hot water tank and any other devices in the house that can pose potential safety hazards. We make sure that all those safety hazards are taken care of before we move on and insulate the house and make it more energy efficient.
Okay, two issues there which are vitally important. One is that you're concerned obviously about the safety of the equipment that's in the house at the present time.
Yes. We check for gas leaks. We check for carbon monoxide. Those are probably the 2 main things that we do not want to have those gases in the house, and then tighten the house up.
Okay, and then weatherization. Talk to me about that, can you?
Well, the weatherization it's a broad term that basically means insulating and air sealing a house. So that's what we do. We will insulate attics, sidewalls, floors, and air seal any cold air that's going to come into the house. We want to seal all of those air leakage sites up.
Okay, every once in a while, let me tell you a personal story, and you can fit in it. I get a chart from Columbia Gas, who I'm connected to, and it's a line across what the average gas person is using, based on my home size, sure. And then another line, then it says I'm using more than what I should be using. So what are they telling me?
Well, they're telling you that you could probably do something in your home to reduce the energy usage. Either, upgrading the furnace to maybe a high efficiency furnace, or adding attic insulation or sidewall insulation, or doing some air sealing work. Yeah, so basically what they're telling you is that in a similarly sized home in your neighborhood, you're using more gas.
That's bad. That's bad, Nick. That's money out of my pocket is what we're talking about.
Yep.
Okay, maybe I need to call you on.
Well, and that's what we specialize in. Something that we don't do a lot of because we spend so much time on our low-income contracts is we also do offer services. We can do energy audits for folks who would like to pay for the service.
Okay, so people that are not below the poverty level also can use your services.
We can offer that service to do an inspection for a fee. We don't really do a lot of that right now. There are other companies that just specialize in the above low income programs, but we will also do that.
Yeah. We're talking to Nick Milano tonight, and the organization, the institution, the company is called Ground Level Solutions, and there are a couple of gentlemen that are going to come on camera here pretty soon. We've talked to Nick. Nick, once again, is a program coordinator, and we're going to be talking to Jesse and Kyle in a few minutes. So why don't you stick around? This is very interesting and very vital and very important to the community. We'll be right back with more of I Love My Job. Don't go away. Yes, surprisingly, you're still watching I Love My Job. Now, we just did some variations right here on the set. Nick left us, and we've got two other gentlemen with us that's still working for Ground Level Solutions. And Jesse Wewitzer?
Yes.
Gee, I'm close, aren't we? And Kyle Reber, thank you very much, gentlemen. And you're both inspectors.
Correct.
Okay. Obviously, we're talking about ground level solutions. Again, we're talking about weatherization, we're talking about gas companies, and we're talking about energy, which is extremely important to all of us, and particularly those below the, well, to all of us. Everybody is concerned about energy, obviously, as I explained to Nick. Now, basically, as inspectors, what do you gentlemen do?
Well, we're going to be the first person that the client's going to see. We're going to come in. We're going to assess the house. It's typically about a 4-hour inspection, just depends on the size of the house, what the house needs. And we assess the house all together as far as insulation needs, efficiency needs as far as furnace, water heater. We're going to test out all those appliances that are gas, check all your safety, checks for your gas leaks, your combustion, things like that.
So you have a regular checklist that you go through. Just if as a pilot, I'm going to take off my plane, I got that checklist I'm going to go
We've
through.
got a whole inspection packet, and we'll fill that out, do a lot of measurements, a lot of testing. Basically, we just got to write down all kinds of information on the house and what it needs.
Okay, and as Nick said, you're looking for two things, safety, and you're looking for weatherization.
Correct.
Energy, which we want to save. Okay, now what kind of training do you guys go through?
Well, it's, quite a bit. It's, a lot of certifications, every little bit of, things you test. All the equipment we have, there's a certification to know how to use the equipment. And then we have state and national certifications over what we call the Ohio Weatherization Program Standards, or the OWPS.
Okay, then obviously we can see on the table you work with a variety of equipment, right?
Yes.
Which is necessary for the job. Okay, talk to us about some of the equipment that you brought here tonight.
All right, first, this is the combustion analyzer. What we do with this is what ultimately tests the furnace. It's what we do for the furnace and the water heater. This tells us if they're working properly and whether or not there's high CO, which is what we test for. That's the safety issue. And it tells us the efficiency. And with those numbers, what we can do with them is we base that along with other information that we gather, whether the furnace needs just a tune-up or needs replaced. That's the primary role of
Okay.
the combustion analyzer.
Now, does that also work on the hot water heater as
Yes,
well?
it does.
Okay, what are you looking for there?
On the hot water heater
Yes.
is the same items, the same numbers. We're checking for the CO for safety and efficiency to make sure it's running properly.
It's got a display and it gives us oxygen level. You're,
Okay.
you're, you're testing the combustion gases in the flue of the appliances. So basically the chimney of the appliances, you're getting oxygen reading, you're getting CO, carbon, dioxide.
Yes.
It's giving you a temperature of the flue. It gives you a list of, excess air.
Okay.
And from those readings, with the guidelines, it's got, statements of what they should be in, basically the parameters. If it's somewhere outside of those parameters, maybe the unit needs a clean. But like Jesse was stating, if it's showing high CO, that's a key sign to us and through our training that there could be a potential breach in that heat exchanger of the furnace,
Okay.
which would need cause for replacement. Because
Gotcha.
high CO can be produced in that, and then that's blowing through the system itself, bringing CO into the
Yeah.
house.
Whoa.
So that's the big safety issues
Yeah.
that'll help us detect whether or not that's happening.
Okay, what's the red box?
The next item, this is the TIF 8800 or gas leak detector. So this is what we use. We turn it on, it clears itself out, and then we test the entire gas line, every joint, all the way from where it comes into the home, from the outside where the gas meter is, all the way to the furnace, to the water heater, even a gas dryer we can test,
Oh, okay.
or gas fireplaces. We test those as well. Everywhere gas could possibly be leaking. And this will let us know if we do pick up a gas leak. What we do is we call Columbia Gas, and they'll come out and actually temporarily turn the gas off until we can get it fixed that day. So, and it's a very quick process. If it does go off, someone will be out there immediately to fix the problem, to turn it
Sure.
back on. Because obviously, you don't want the gas off. So, and that's what
Yes.
we're there for. When we find that issue,
Yeah.
we fix it.
And that unit itself does more than just natural gas. It's going to test it because we do have programs under our state that we're not just doing natural gas homes. We can do propane, fuel
Okay.
oil homes under the state program.
Yeah.
So that'll test more than just natural gas. It'll test propane, methane, butane.
Okay.
And it's a tick. So as
Yeah.
it ticks louder, that's telling us there's a potential. That's not actually saying there is a leak because it does all kinds of variety. So we've got to actually verify with some soap bubble solution and make sure that there is a leak somewhere in the line. And then obviously if we can shut it off, that'd be great, but we're going to
Yeah.
correct it if we do find a leak.
Very, very
So
important.
that's a lot of that safety issues that we're going to check for. And sometimes that's what takes the time of the inspection.
Sure.
We're going through the house and we're going to be all over the house. We're not
Yeah.
just sticking in one room. We're not just in the
Yeah.
basement.
Yeah.
We're checking every room. We're in attics, crawl spaces. We're
Wow.
getting down and dirty in all of it.
I believe that. Wow. What's the other piece that you've got here?
That's our infrared camera. It's a pretty actually high-tech piece. It's basically telling us the temperature difference is all it's doing. It's a thermal imaging camera. So what we use it for is to check sidewall insulation, attic insulation. It's actually going to tell us a temperature difference in the wall cavities.
Wow.
The different materials, your drywall, your studs, if it's insulated with fiberglass, cellulose, the materials are going to show up in a different temperature variance. So with our training, we can decipher whether or not there is potentially insulation in the walls or ceilings, or if not. Good majority, of the older homes were never insulated.
No,
So
no.
if somebody's never come in and insulated and blown in insulation in the walls, that's something we can do. If we see that the walls are empty, we can even drill a little 1-inch test hole into a wall cavity, make sure we've got no insulation in there. If by our camera showing us that there's no insulation, so we'll test, we'll verify, nope, there's no insulation, so we'll call to have insulation blown
Yeah.
in the walls, or we go up into the attic, we can see for sure there's very little
Sure.
insulation, there's a lot of insulation, and from our guidelines we can then determine what we can call for.
So if you're talking about the walls, all you do is they drill just a small hole and
Well, that's what we test, and then when we have insulation installed, they have a different
Yeah.
ways they can have it installed. They'll
Okay.
take loose siding, drill in behind it, each cavity, usually
Yeah.
every 16 inches,
Yeah.
and insulate the wall cavities
Yeah.
as they blow it in, and then
Interesting.
move right
Yeah.
along on the exterior walls.
Yeah. Let me take a quick break, okay? Once again, we're talking to the gentleman from Ground Level Solutions, and Jesse's with us as well as Kyle. We're going to continue. They're both inspectors, by the way. We're talking about everything from safety to weatherization of your home, your furnace, your hot water heater,
The
on
whole
and on and
the
on.
house is a system.
We'll be right back. Once again, tonight we're talking to the gentleman from Ground Level Solution. Jesse is with us as well as Kyle. They're both inspectors, by the way, and we're talking about weatherization. We're talking about energy efficiency, which is extremely important, and that's what both of you are experts in.
Correct.
Okay. And the equipment sounds very technical.
It is. It is very technical. That's a process that we've got to go through all that training to learn how to do this, and it's not just a basic house inspection. We're not just saying, oh, well, it may
Yeah.
need this or that. We actually get in depth of what the house is doing and why it's so inefficient and why it's using so much gas.
Okay, now, just quickly, one of the pieces of equipment that you were not able to bring because of the size here on the show tonight is the blower door. What's that all about?
The blower door, what we do with the blower door is we hook it up to an exterior door of the home, and we test the air leakage of the house as a whole. So we turn it on, we get the house down to a certain pressure, and it'll give us a baseline number of how much air is coming through the house naturally. The reason we use it is the intention is to have the beginning number, and then we do it again at the end of when all the work's been done.
Interesting.
So we can see the difference of how much air leakage reduction we've had total throughout the entire process. And there are steps to it. We try to hit at least 30% in each home, but it can be higher all the way to 50% in some cases. So through that air reduction, ultimately there's less gas usage. More in the wintertime when you heat your home, it stays in longer. And in the summertime when you cool your home, it stays in longer. And that's what we try to do.
I think you guys would be in demand all over the country.
It is a program I think that probably needs to be in every house.
Yeah, it
it's one of those
absolutely
things.
does.
And like Nick was stating earlier, it's all about the insulation and air sealing. And this blower door is really going to tell us how tight the house is.
Yeah.
And it's just pinpoint. It's acting like a big exhaust fan. So it's going to give us a calculated CFM rating of how much air is actually moving through the house.
Yeah.
And it actually helps us pinpoint where, if we can pull air in, you can potentially lose heat out of.
Yeah.
So we want to seal off those areas, and that's why we talk about air sealing. So we'll use some spray foam, caulk, anything to seal those penetrations like plumbing, wiring. They're all going to communicate to outside. So once we seal that off, the house is going to be tighter as far as air leakage and be more energy efficient.
And you're not talking only winter.
No, it
No.
works year round. If you do have central air, use
Yeah.
window or air conditioning. Main thing with Ohio, we're a heating climate, so you'll see the biggest savings in the wintertime.
Sure.
But you will get savings from the insulation during the summertime if you cool the house. It's going to be savings on the electric side of it. But yeah, there's savings year round.
Oh man, oh man.
On average, I think we're about 28 to 30% savings.
Whoa, that's a lot.
And
Or
that's-
that could be a lot.
That's calculated more on the wintertime and the gas savings.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just strictly natural gas with our one choice program. On average, with the program, we're about 28 to 30% savings. so.
Okay. But basically, your contracts are with Columbia Gas as well as a variety of other people here. And you're working right now with people falling below the federal poverty line.
Correct. There's a lot of people there that need the assistance.
Yeah, oh, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
that may not even know that they need the assistance.
Okay, now, I've got a number here for the Mansfield office, by the way, just quickly, in Mansfield, is 774-0457. But again, there's an 800 number. Let me give you that again, 800-537-8210. And call these gentlemen It's extremely important. And according to Nick, there's a simple application you fill out, and then either one or both of you show up for an inspection.
Usually just one of us, and yeah, you could see either one of us at the inspections. I primarily do a lot of the work up towards Lake Erie on the northern end. I'm out of the Mansfield office, and Jesse's out of our Columbus office.
Okay.
So he'll come up to Mansfield here and do inspections too. So we're kind of all over the place.
Okay, let me take a quick break. Once again, we're talking to the inspectors from Ground Level Solutions, and located in Mansfield, Columbus, and Norwalk office. And we're talking about safety, weatherization, inspection of your home. We'll be right back with I Love My Job. Once again, the company is called Ground Level Solutions. We gave you that phone number, website.
It's going to be www.groundlevelsolutions.org.
Okay. Give them a call. Very important for either one or both of these gentlemen to come out for that inspection of your home. We're talking about saving of energy, and we're talking about weatherization, which are actually one and the same.
Correct.
And you're going to come out with really high level technical equipment.
Very much.
Okay, that's great. Give them a call. And even though we talked about the poverty level, and of course that's basically where you're working, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you have these contracts with these companies, Columbia Gas.
Yep, AEP, the state of Ohio. Yeah.
And you work out of 30 counties?
Yes, we do the Warm Choice program out of 30 counties in Ohio.
Okay, so you're willing to get on the road and do a lot of traveling?
Yes, we do.
All the time.
Well, interesting, fascinating program that you guys are involved in. What I really need is you to come to my home and tell me about all that cold air
Well,
that
we can
keeps
do that.
running in there.
We can do that.
Well, thank you very much for being on I Love My Job, gentlemen. Once again, Nick, we thank you very much, sir, for being here. I'm Doug Thaker. You've been watching I Love My Job. We're coming back next week for another great show. Again, see, tonight we're talking about information that you need to know. That's what it's all about. Once again, 800-537-8210. I'll get it right. I'm Doug Thaker. Thank you for being with us. We'll be back next week right here. And good night.